Hello everyone, how's it going? Billy Ballgame here, back with another video. Sorry I missed you all last weekend. We got back kind of late Saturday afternoon and, from Thanksgiving festivities back home with family. So, was a little busy and run down last week. Wasn't able to get a video out, so I apologize that I missed you all. And then last week, we had a basketball tournament for the eighth grade girls. So I helped the eighth grade coach with 3 or 4 games last week. So it was pretty hectic. I'm worn out. I'm ready for Christmas break, ready for another mini vacation. So again, my apologies for missing last weekend. I hope you're all doing well. But after, I can't remember if it was the same day or not, I was on Four Collectors, rating all the Hall of Famers from the 80s and 90s. So we voted, or we gave our opinion on whether we thought they were properly rated, underrated, or overrated. And I really had a good time with John, 3D 80s kid, Darren, and Drew, a Vintage Legacy. So I had a great time. They kind of called me last minute and asked me to fill in for Adam with Splendid Cards, and I was happy to do it because I actually had some free time to get in on a live stream. So that was my live stream debut. If you haven't checked it out yet, please go over there to Four Collectors, and check out that video. So today I'm going to try to keep this video hopefully under 20 minutes, but I'm going to go over the 84 top set that I got from the basement collection. And this is a big set. It's got 80 something Hall of Famers in it. Plus I'm going to show you a few things that I picked up while we were staying with our family over the Thanksgiving break. Some Cardinals related collectibles. So hang on a second. I'll flip this around. I'll get to the second part of the video. So I'll be right back with you. All right, so I'm back with the second part of the video, and bear with me on the camera for a bit. These items are kind of bulky. So this is a pennant that I picked up from an antique store as you can see, from the 2006 World Series, that I will add to my little display of pennants. I didn't have any of the newer ones. And I found these, so I was pretty happy to add these to the collection. So if you watch my man cave tour video, you can see where I have a pennant display set up. So I may have to rearrange a few of them to get room in there for them. But I'm pretty happy to add those. So I think it's going to look really cool, and they're pennants that I didn't already have. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then I also got a 1998 Maguire record breaker starting lineup. I mean, this is in really good condition. Like, the card and all that stuff is really clean. It was already in kind of a snap together box. And I saw that and I couldn't pass it up. So I think this was $15. I think the pennants were $15 a piece. But there was a kind of a Black Friday, Thanksgiving discount at the antique store. So I'm going to rearrange this camera and I'll start going into the cards of the 84 top set. All right, so as always, I'll start with the stars, and I'll go through this pretty quickly because there are a lot of cards in here. There's Dale Murphy, and these are all in really good condition. Just centering. It's just a matter, again, with a lot of these sets from back in this era of cards, it's just a matter of whether or not they were centered, but they're really clean. This set has kind of a really special place for me because, I would have turned 9 years old in the fall of 84. So when these cards came out, I was probably I would have been 8 years old early in this baseball season. But these cards are the ones that I remember the best of opening packs and going through my kind of do you guys remember crayon boxes from school? Like you had your markers and ink pens and all that stuff. I had my cards in those, and I remember going through them when I was a kid and seeing lots of 84 Topps cards. Now, back then I would have mostly been excited about the Cardinals, and if it was a player that wasn't from the Cardinals, unless it was a team, you know, like from the Cubs or another team that the Cardinals would have played frequently, I wouldn't have known who those other players were because that was before cable for me. So, you know, I don't know if I had Don Mattingly rookie cards in there or not, or Darryl Strawberry or any of the air quotes big cards from this set back then, but it wouldn't have mattered to me anyway. And I remember putting a bunch of autographs on the front of cards, like, you know, I don't know if I did Lou Whitaker, but I would have written Lou Whitaker across the front of the card practicing autographs when I was a little kid. And these also definitely went into bicycle spokes from when I was a kid. So there's a lot of nostalgia tied to this set for me. It's probably one of my favorites. I'm not going to say necessarily of all time, but it's got a special place for sure. And it's definitely one of my favorites of the 80s for sure. So that's all the star cards. I'll get into the Hall of Famers. So there are a lot of all-time or active leaders cards that have a lot of Hall of Famers in it. That's why there are 80-something of them. Here's Reggie Jackson, the only Hall of Famer, but Greg Luzinski and Greg Nettles were good players in their own rights for sure. Rod Carew and Reggie Jackson, all-time or active career hit leaders. Career batting leaders with George Brett and Rod Carew. Cecil Cooper, also a good player. Bruce Sutter, active saves leader. Active ERA leaders, Tom Seaver and Steve Carlton. I really enjoy these cards. Like I said, combo cards with multiple Hall of Famers. Like this one's got 3 Hall of Famers on it, and 3 of my favorite pitchers of all time, and 3 of the definitely greatest pitchers that are kind of in from my generation and a little bit before. But this is an awesome card to me. And here's another one with 3 Hall of Famers, active career victory leaders, Carlton, Fergie, and Tom Seaver. Here's Raleigh Fingers, Rich Gossage, and then not a Hall of Famer, but maybe, I don't know, Dan Quisenberry. Here's Jim Palmer and Raleigh Fingers, active career ERA leaders. Oh, sorry about that. Thought you were going to see cards and you got put on a roller coaster. Again, my apologies. Here's Don Sutton, Bert Blyleven, and Jerry Koosman. I love his rookie card in 1968. Hopefully one day I can add that to my collection. And then here's Tommy John with 2 Hall of Famers, Jim Palmer and Don Sutton. Here are the Brewers batting and pitching leaders with Ted Simmons. Cal Ripken All-Star. Jim Rice. Dave Winfield All-Star. Eddie Murray. Steve Carlton. Andre Dawson. Gary Carter. Ted Simmons. Rod Carew. Tony La Russa. Tommy Lasorda. Goose Gossage. Here's Alan Trammell Jack Morris, and hopefully a one-day Hall of Famer in Lou Whitaker. Phil Niekro. Jim Palmer. Dennis Eckersley. In my video with 4 collectors, I got his all-time wins mixed up with John Smoltz. I gave Dennis Eckersley for more credit for more career wins than he actually had. But he had a pretty similar career to John Smoltz, in my opinion. John Smoltz was a better starter, I think, without question. Tom Seaver, good-looking card there. Bruce Sutter. Reggie Jackson and Ted Simmons. Mike Schmidt. Tony Perez, should be Hall of Famer Pete Rose, and just a really good, underrated player, Rusty Staub. Jack Schmidt, or Mike Schmidt, Jack is his middle name. Tony Perez and Dave Kingman. Dave Kingman would be a superstar if he played in today's baseball. Rusty Staub again, Tony Perez and Al Oliver. NL career RBI leaders. Stolen base leaders. Joe Morgan, the lone Hall of Famer on that one. Bert Blyleven. That's a good-looking card there. Wade Boggs, Red Sox leaders. Lefty, Steve Carlton. Fergie. Here is the Nolan. I have another one of these that I bought at a card shop, I think when I was in South Carolina many, many years ago. That's better centered than this one, so I may actually look at the one in my case and may end up getting it graded. But one of these days, I would like to complete a Nolan Ryan run. He's one of my favorite players of all time. There's Ted Simmons. George Brett. Batting leaders, 83. Bill Madlock was a good player. Check out his stats if you're not familiar with Bill Madlock. And then Wade Boggs. Home run leaders, Jim Rice, Mike Schmidt. So there's a combo card with 2 Hall of Famers. RBI leaders with Cecil Cooper, Jim Rice, and Dale Murphy. Jim Rice being the lone Hall of Famer, of course. There's Reggie Jackson. And some people think Dale Murphy should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that. He was a really good player, won 2 MVP awards. I think he just broke down too early. There's Mike Schmidt. He would have been a Hall of Famer for sure if he'd have been able to stay healthy, Dale Murphy. There's Ozzy's All-Star. I would like to get this graded one of these days, or in a graded card for my Ozzy run. Here's Tim Raines. Tony Perez. That one's actually pretty well centered. Tim Raines. Angels leaders with Rod Carew. He had a .339 batting average in '83. Sparky Anderson. Tony Gwynn's second-year card. Mets leaders with Mookie Wilson, who was a pretty good player, and Tom Seaver. Eddie Murray. Here's Pudge on the White Sox leaders card. Dave Winfield. Fergie Jenkins. Gary Carter. Harold Baines, everyone's favorite Hall of Famer. Billy Ripken, or sorry, his brother Cal, who was a lot better. Carlton Fisk. Whitey Herzog. About to enter into the prime of the Whitey Ball era with the Cardinals. There's Jim Rice. Alan Trammell. Well, I guess maybe 82 was the prime because they did win a World Series in 82. They didn't win another one after that. They went to a few, but 82 is their only win. There's a young no mustachioed Joe Torre. Here is George Brett, Joe Morgan, Bobby Cox. It's a good looking card there. Andre Dawson, Jack Morris, rounding out the Hall of Famers. Lee Smith, getting close anyway, probably 10 or 15 more. Here's Ricky Henderson. Tim Conroy would end up later in his career pitching for the Cardinals for a little bit. 2 Hall of Famers here, Steve Carlton and Jack Morris. 2 Hall of Famers here, stolen base leaders, Tim Raines and Ricky Henderson. Here's Ozzie Smith's base card. I have this one graded in a 9 for my Ozzie run. Nolan Ryan, Astros pitching leader. Paul Molitor. Don Sutton. Robin Yount. Here's a kind of a tribute card to Yastrzemski, Johnny Bench, and Gaylord Perry. I guess they all announced that they were retiring after the 83 season. Here's an 83 highlight. They surpassed Walter Johnson. I don't know if that's in no-hitters. Strikeouts. Okay, so they all went over 3,500 strikeouts and surpassed Walter Johnson. That's pretty cool. Here's an 83 highlight with Steve Carlton. Another highlight with Ricky Henderson. Raleigh Fingers. And last but not least, Cal Ripken, second-year card. I'm going to move this stack a little bit so it doesn't fall over. All right, and then the rookie cards and the cards that I may send in for grading. So I'll show the Hall of Famers first. And I'll go through these again and look and see if any of them are a little better than I initially thought, and if there are more that I want to get graded. There's Ryan Sandberg, second-year card, pretty well centered, maybe off a little bit left to right. Frank Robinson, I remember having this one when I was a kid, but this one's in really good condition here. And then here's a second-year Wade Boggs. This one's really nice, maybe off a little bit top to bottom. It's got a print dot on his hat right there, so I may not send that one in. And then here's probably one of my favorite cards from the set right here, this Ricky Henderson. I just really like this card. So good-looking card there, Ricky. And then here are the rookie cards. Here's Andy Van Slyke. And then the main reasons why I picked up this set are these 2 cards right here. Of course, the Don Mattingly. Unfortunately, this one is off left to right and top to bottom, but it may grade as an 8. I don't know. And then if that's the case, then I'll send it in and get it graded, and then maybe eventually upgrade to a 9. But overall, it's a clean card. It's just off-centered. I mean, it looks packed fresh other than that. This set was taken care of really well. And then here is the Darryl Strawberry, and this one is much better centered than the Don Mattingly. So this one may actually get a 9. I don't know. But I've wanted this card for a long time, so I'm going to hopefully get it graded here before too long. So I'm going to flip this back around, and then I'll talk about what else I have coming up on the channel. So hang with me. I'll be right back. Video started on its own. Sorry about that. So pretty much I'm about finished with all the sets from the basement collection. I had the 85 Fleer set left that I'll show you. There's some amazing cards in there that are just in phenomenal condition. I may get some 10s on them. And then I have the 86 top set that I also got from the basement collection. I probably won't show the whole thing. I'll just show the highlights along with the rack packs that I got from 87. And then I'll also show, or 86 with the set. So I got a set of 86 and then I got some rack packs. And then 87, I got a bunch of rack packs and a box. So I may go through those and just go through the highlights of what I think the best cards are that are worth grading. Because I got a few that are really nice. I got a Bo Jackson in there that I think has a really good shot at a 10. And then Chris and I have an order out at SGC. Today is Saturday. The SGC order is supposed to be back on Monday. And I sent in the 70 Yastrzemski that you've seen on former videos. And I sent in the 72 Yastrzemski that I've shown on this channel in prior videos. And I'm pretty happy about the grades, especially with the 72. So stay tuned for that. And as soon as I get those cards back, hopefully I can get a video out this week and go through those cards. But what I'm going to start doing here with the rest of the upcoming videos, once I'm done with these sets from the basement collection, is probably I'm going to start taking turns. I'm going to 1 month send my baseball allowance into SGC to get cards graded. I'm going to start with the Hall of Fame rookie cards from the 80s that I think are going to grade the best. So, and then the next month, I'll buy a card, probably for the 1960 set, as I'd really like to get going further on that one. I need Ernie Banks. I need Hank Aaron's All-Star. I need Hank Aaron's regular card. I need Sandy Koufax, Yogi Berra. So there are still quite a few of them I need. Luckily, none of them are super expensive. Probably most are in the $100 to $200 range. So I just want to start plugging away on that. So if you've stuck around this long, I appreciate it. And everyone who has subscribed and tunes in for the videos, and all of you that comment, on every one of my videos, there's a small group of you that watch every single video and comment on every video, and I really appreciate that. And then for the rest of you, if you're back to the channel and you're not subscribed yet, please do so. I'm over 360 now, and I'm hoping to close in on 400 before my channel hits a year here in January. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, I appreciate everybody's support. Thanks for sticking around and watching the video, and that'll wrap it up. So until the next one, I hope everybody has a good one, and I'll talk to you later.